Bam! There we go. It's Sunday. This means a drink with Brink. Yes. Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to the show where I talk with other indie creators about their lives and their adventures in the indie scene and their books and the campaigns, because I'm kind of done with the mainstream. I'm done with mainstream comics, guys. So indie comics is where the fun is. So yeah. I made a mistake. I put the link to this campaign that we're talking about today in the chat, and I made a mistake. I wanted to first type back, and then I was like, nah, that's a bit too pushy. Let's make it check out. And I was like, check out, and I needed to finish it before the video ended. I made a little typo. Anyway, doesn't matter. Welcome, everyone. I saw Mike. Mike is here. Hello, Mike. Dave, I got an email for you later. Okay, this book looks made for Jose Garcia's art style. Fantastic. Congratulations on funding. Aaron, cheers, guys. Thank you, Mike. Welcome. Then we have Chris. Welcome, Chris. Let's get these Immortals Rising. Yes, sir. Well, welcome. And there's another Chris. I'm confused, guys. All right. And then we have Amanda. 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 Welcome, Amanda. Wrong account. Okay, got it. Okay, guys, I need to calm down a little bit. I was a little bit hyper. That's because I'm pretty happy that all the print files for American Bliss are at the printer. They're working on it right now. So the flags, the prints, the cards, and the books, of course. So I'm hoping that next week the first things will come in. So yeah, and meanwhile I've started sending out digital editions. So some of you got them already. Some of you still need to get them. I'm working on it. So yeah, but things are in motion. I'm very happy, very excited. So yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, let's not postpone this any longer. We have a guest with a wonderful book, wonderful campaign. So let's just bring him on, guys. Let's bring him on. Let's have a warm welcome for Mr. Aaron C.
Thank you. Hello, nerds. How's everybody? Happy Sunday.
Yes. You also have your own channel, right, Aaron?
I do. Yes.
And you
You
have
got to type
guests.
it in all the way. Immortal Rising comic book. Otherwise, you get some video game stuff. So
Right, right. So this means you're truly dedicated to the title. So Immortal Rising.
yes.
What if you someday want to do another comic book with another
Actually,
title?
I have one. Me and Jose have a 6. I think we're gonna make it 7 pages, but we have a 6-page story that's going into Luke Stone, or I should say, Arrow Comics. They're doing the Out of Obscurity, and we have a comic in there. It's a future dystopian, or a dystopian future, and yeah, it's like these last 2 human survivors in this ugly world of the future kind of stuff. It's super cool because instead of fantasy, he does like future tech, and we haven't really seen him do that. And it's in black and white, so it's really pretty.
Right.
If you like Jose's work at all, you're gonna be like, "What?" It's
Sounds
pretty.
great, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds great. Uh, don't get confused yet. I'm trying, guys. Some days there's just too much going on, and then I need to calm down for the live stream, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like in Anger Management. Have you seen that where he goes, "Goose Fraba"?
Yeah. This is true. Dark Side is Comics is also here.
Hey, what's
Welcome,
up?
Ernest. Amanda B says, I had mine. Didn't get a chance to check it out yet. Yes, you have it. You were one of the first. Deep breaths.
Yeah, but don't pass out.
No.
Breathe from your gut, not your chest.
Okay. Let's start from the beginning with the first question, the first official question to kick things off. Aaron, what are you drinking?
Oh, great question. I am drinking a double shot of vodka and lemonade.
Wow. Okay. So you need the vodka to get through your campaign and these live streams.
Well, you did say a drink. It said, the title is a drink, so I was like, well, shit. It's afternoon, so I'm officially, like, I'm technically not an alcoholic, right? I didn't have to wake up and drink, so
right.
I think I'm okay.
Oh, right. So vodka for the occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Wait, what are you drinking?
Just cola. I have my cola. Always the same. Pretty boring.
It's all right. Nothing wrong with habit.
Okay. Is there a Dutch word for zen? No, I don't think so.
I don't think there's an English word for zen.
Right. Welcome, Phantasmagorical.
Hey, what's up, Fanta?
Right.
So I have a question for you with all this printing stuff and the digital and whatnot. How are you excuse me, how are you doing your digitals? Are you coming up with a unique ID or some kind of watermark? And how are you doing that? Because I'm at that point now. It's like I want to be able to protect, all of my customers' the book. So for all the customers as well. And how are you going to approach that?
So with watermark, you mean you're afraid that people will print it, or something?
Well, yeah. So then they'll have it and can use it. Whereas, like, if I see it used, I can tell where it's come from or where it came from.
Right. Yeah, I don't really do that. I do. I make the digital editions and I put them on lower resolution, of course.
Okay.
And everywhere in the book you see copyrights and stuff like that. It's basically exactly the same as the printed version without all the printing marks on there.
Okay.
It's lower quality, so they can try to print it, but
it's not the same.
No, it looks best on the screen. And I think you also need to trust people a little bit. It's
right. Yeah, that's fair. That's wrong. Well, because I heard, I think Global Comics does that, but I'm trying to look up their website and see more of what they're about. I've heard people, oh, dude, you got to try it or something. So any outlet I can find, really, at this point, get people's eyes on my stuff,
Yeah, with Global Comics, you probably get the Global Comics logo on there and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Aaron,
Hmm.
uh,
Dave.
let's talk about you for a little bit before
Oh,
we dive into your book, right?
sure. All right. What would you like to know?
Okay, so for instance, where did um, your love for comics start? So where
Oh,
did it
yeah.
begin?
Oh, I gotta say, my love for comics was early '90s. We're talking X-Men, X-Force, Uncanny X-Men, Maximum Carnage, all of the original Image stuff. That whole era. Just that's when I got into comics originally. So, real men take their hard alcohol rectally. Oh gosh. Ugh. Why are you trying to
Right.
put stuff in people's butts, dude?
Did I say hi to Phantasmagorical?
Oh yeah, what's up? Hey, yeah.
Welcome, welcome. Um, right. So you grew up with X-Men stuff like that. Did you
Oh
did
yeah.
you also read other comics besides the superhero stuff?
I did. Well, I read like the Incredible Hulk, and then later I got into Spawn when Spawn was a thing. I read that to like 100. But I would say I didn't get into like the graphic novel stuff like Alan Moore until
Mhm.
my 20s. I found it like some friends from work were like, "Hey, why don't you have you seen this? Have you tried this? This is classic stuff." So yeah, I read all that and like a bunch of the Star Wars Dark Horse comics. Back when Star Wars was still cool.
Yeah.
And let's see what else. Yeah, a bunch of Frank Miller, like everything Frank Miller that I could get my hands on. Transmetropolitan,
Right.
some of the bigger brain stuff was
Hmm.
I found in my 20s. So,
Right.
and then I haven't really paid attention to too many comics for quite a while until
Hmm.
I got into the indie stuff, and I don't know, I have more fun seeing what indies are doing now compared to mainstream because I mean the mainstream art looks like it's halfway done. I'm looking at some of the dialogue and it's like it's either a long preachy rant about something or it's really immature. Like I saw this one page, it's been floating around, or it's a couple of them with Mr. Sinister. And like one of them, he's like asking Spider-Man where he squirts his stuff out of. It's like, what is this? Like, what the hell is Mr. Sinister having this kind of conversation about? Like he's
Yeah.
a genetic genius and all this other stuff, but no, he's gonna be too, and he's gonna be talking about this. What is he in 8th grade, 7th grade? Come on. No.
Yeah. I don't see how people reading these modern mainstream comics can't see that the older stuff is so much better. They need to see that, right? But you can't compare it. It exists. So yeah, really
No.
strange to me, right? So that was what got you out of comics. They
Well, yeah,
changed
I
and
mean, yeah, a lot of that was just like the writing. I didn't really like some of the stories that they were doing. I thought it was, largely overdone, and I just kind of missed out. It's like it was I guess an expensive hobby that I didn't really feel like I was getting anything out of. So, yeah, I just kind of got into other stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
until recently, and I do buy every now and again. I'll see like a reissue for like $1. I might pick one of those up, but nothing like current or nothing really gets me.
Right, right. Chris says, "What, you don't immediately think of dinner parties and proms when you see superhero comics? Unsolicited opinions on Israel. Ask me about my feminist." Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
crazy, man.
yeah. What do you identify as? I don't care.
It's crazy. So do kids still get into these mainstream books, these modern mainstream books? I can't
Well, my
really.
my daughter, she kind of reads comics, but
Mm,
it's more manga really. And if
right. Yeah.
it's not anime or manga, then it'll be some old graphic novels that I had from like my oldest daughter. She it'll be like Birds of Prey, graphic novel or something like that. Nothing current,
Hmm.
Titans or something, but
Right.
otherwise Kids read manga. Yeah, kids read manga for sure. And
Right.
my son, who's 7, he loves Dogman and the Cat Boy. So, like, basically, the things that when you look up to see what's selling, I think I can't remember what channel did that. They actually had it, and it was like, nothing but Dogman selling and manga. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I see in my house too. My son's not trying to, they're not asking for Spider-Man comics or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I I hear this title more often, Dogman, and so is it weird that I don't really know it?
No, because you don't have kids, right?
No.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Oh, right, right. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's dominating with kids for sure.
Hmm. Right. So you
It's
read,
good.
so you like manga also, or you more
I don't
like
I
the
don't like I'm not against it, but I don't go out of my way to read it. I
mhm,
remember in the early like 2000s when manga was really kind of being a thing around some of the nerds that I knew, and like they would get upset if you called it manga. Those guys.
mhm,
So, anyways, and it's cool. Like I've read some, but it's not the first thing I reach for. I'm more interested in if it's a good story. I know that's kind of cliche to say, but if there's no kind of philosophy or something that is interesting to read, then if it's just like battling, I can't. It's hard for me to stay with that.
right.
And
So
I've
you
seen that
said
a lot in manga. It's just like a bunch of fights. I'm like, what is going on? Is
yes.
this everything Dragon Ball?
So you said that you kind of lost touch with or you checked out with mainstream comics, and then
Yeah.
indie comics brought you back, right? So what was the indie comic that you read and you were like, hey, this exists also. This is awesome.
So how did I get into indie comics? Well, I had originally started writing this comic for like just like personal friends, just like maybe 10 people, right? I didn't expect it to be what it's become. Originally, it was just going to be, a few made, and I got a amateur artist originally who did the first issue for me, and that's as far as I was going to go. But as I was making it, I wanted to do more than just the main story. I wanted to keep the energy rolling, and I made a 10-page story, and I was looking for another artist, and that's when I found Jose. And this is about the time. This is a few years ago. So this is when Jose was trying. He's like, I'm trying to get out of animation and get into comics. I'm looking for a comic to really sink my teeth into. So I was like, here you go. You try this 10-page one, and he turned that around in a week, and, fully colored and everything. So I was like, holy crap! And his style is professional and everything. So just kind of fast forward, we worked together on a couple of like on issue 2. We had issue 2 finished. It's like mostly done now, and
Hmm.
except maybe final edit. And I was like, I can't have these two different styles. So I was like, hey, will you do issue 1 for me?
Yeah.
But so how I got into the indie stuff was Jose told me about CG, and he was like, "Hey, check out Bancroft's show." And there's a indie community and network that you might be interested in. I went and I watched Bancroft, and I was like, "Wow, this is great!" This everything that they're talking about is perfect. Like they're against the message, and they just want to make good comics. They're not trying to force politics down your throat. And so, yeah, immediately I was like, I got to hang out. And I have been. It's been about 2 years now. So,
Hmm.
um, just off and on in the community. Mostly, I've been in the community more in the last year, doing my own show. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, that's really what got me. And so when I'm interviewing people, I'm like, man, that looks really good or something. And I try to keep it towards like a budget because these are boutique books, so I can't drop $100 just easily every month on comics and stuff. So
Yes.
um, and I'm also trying to build like all the fantasy guys. So like I want to buy all their stuff and talk to them and really because that's what my channel is about is mostly fantasy genre, I also do capes and stuff. Like I've had you on the show, and as well as other superhero guys. And so, but it's mostly like I talk to tabletop RPG guys, and I talk to like for instance in tabletop circles, like how there's Comics Gate, they have the old school Renaissance. So
Right.
I talk with them a lot. I let their indie guys come on, or I ask them. I don't know. Kids say I let them. I ask them to come on and promote, as well as the Iron Age dudes. They're also against the message. So I'm like, let's all
Right.
mingle. Let's all talk. And they're all mostly fantasy and sci-fi stuff too. So it works out perfect.
Yeah. The tabletop scene um, is dealing with similar issues, right?
Oh
From
yeah, really
outsiders
bad.
that want to change everything,
Hmm.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Sure.
With Wizards of the Coast just basically shooting themselves in the foot and ruining like there's so many indie creators who would add on to like the lore that they've already created with their
Mhm.
own little modules and
Yes.
extra job classes and all this other stuff. And there was a whole nother economy that grew in the shadow of WotC and all these other things. And then and they're like, no, we're gonna just revoke all that. And that's like some people's livelihood. And so there was a huge backlash, and then they try walking it back, and a lot of people just don't trust them anymore. So
Yes.
plus all the politics of, well, we're not going to or saying race is racist, so now there's species, and you can't have mixed species because it's scientifically impossible. It's like, you're the one that started all this, you ass. It's like we like our half elves and we like our
Yes.
half orcs and we like all that stuff. What are you doing? Stop it. But that's them. That's what they want to do. There's a whole indie scene for the tabletop that is, just sticking true to whatever the customers want. And people still want their half orcs.
Yeah. Sure, man. It's just fun. Can't people just have fun anymore? You know.
Well, there's wizardry, but the wizardry isn't good. It's some black magic. It's like, oh, we're going to change the words and definitions of an established IP that everybody loves. We're going to do it to fit whatever we consider to be the right ideology and politics. And if you don't like it, well, we don't want you here anyways. So that's fine. It's not
Yeah.
for you. Like,
It is
oh, okay,
weird.
all right, bye.
Exactly. Look, I'm a tabletop noob. I don't know much about it. I have some
Sure.
figures but that's about it, right? So how come that you can play your own game, right? So
Yeah.
everyone has their own figures, they have your own boards. You can build your own landscapes and
Yeah.
so
Some people go
so
crazy.
so do you really need this corporation to tell you can't play this
Well, no,
anymore?
not at all. That's just it, because there's so many different earlier editions and versions of the game,
Right.
and they're just trying to restructure their corporation and how they're going to monetize their product, because there's so many past versions. Them putting out newer stuff isn't really helpful. I mean,
Right. Yes.
like
Exactly.
I still play 3.5 and they're on like fifth or sixth or 5.5 or whatever they're calling it now, the one D&D, and they're trying to turn it more into video game or digital based, and
Mm.
I'm not interested in that. Like, I play with a dry erase board and that and what's ever in my head.
Right.
So
Right. Yes.
that's just the way that we prefer to do it. And with
Wow.
my kids like the miniatures and stuff, so I don't go crazy. I just have real cheap Chinese plastic ones, and a little hex board or whatever it is, and we have a good time. So it is
Mhm.
for all ages.
Exactly. So does your love for tabletop games for these games did that um, inspire your comic book? Your
Yeah, actually, so how I was kind of getting onto that earlier, and I went off on
Mhm.
another part, but
Right.
so
Of course.
tabletop. This is a homebrew world that I've been playing in for maybe 30 years now, since I was
Oh
about
wow.
12 or 13. So, off and on, not straight. Although my current table, we've been weekly or bi-weekly for about a decade. So it's, obviously we'll miss a month or something, but this is the most consistent I've heard for tabletop groups that I think exists. So I'm very, very grateful. But yeah, and so how it started was I was writing out the timeline because I've kept terrible notes, and it's always just been kind of like a hobby thing, and we never took it too seriously, and so I was like, damn, we need an actual timeline and all that stuff, and I'm writing it out, and I'm asking the guys questions about when this happened and how that went, and that turned into me writing out an event, right? Well, then that event turns into dialogue and becomes a scene, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm writing something out here. I need to
Yes.
think about what's
Something's
taking me
happening.
over. And I'm not a stranger to writing. I've been writing, the first time I really wrote anything, like in second grade, I won third in my state for creative writing. And it's so like writing has been with me, like I've helped write lyrics for CDs. I've wrote for
Really?
one comic strip, just this and that, and of course short stories. I've done a bunch of those that never saw the light of day, but this is my first like real professional attempt at anything,
Right.
for writing wise anyways. And
Right.
and yeah, so this is all based on my homebrew world. And I was like, guys, where should I put, where should I start the story? And it was kind of up to them. They were like, this is a really pivotal moment in our world. You should start here. And yeah, I think they're right. It turns out perfect because there's like a ton of past lore, and I know where everything's going. So it worked out perfectly. Like writing it hasn't been too hard. It's more about like, sharpening my technique instead of worrying about where the plot's going to go.
Right. Right. Uh, let me see in the chat if I missed anything. Mike says, I've never looked inside of a Dogman book, but something about the writing must be done right to be such a draw with boys. My nephew too, for about 1 year. Now military. Yeah. All right. Chris says, I like old manga and anime, but most modern manga anime is feminized and obnoxious. Okay.
Yeah, my daughter reads girl manga. I don't know. It's it's like about little witches or something. So
right. I can't wait to get my tabletop stuff in a presentable format. It's not D&D and went down its own path 3 decades ago. Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that with you, dude. Like we're gonna have to live stream that sometime. That'd be fun.
Hey, you just said you wrote lyrics for songs.
Yes. Yep.
Can we hear it somewhere? Is
I don't have it. I don't know. It's all what was the name of the band? It was funny. It's so funny thing is it was a black metal style Christian album where like Jesus is the returning badass and he's kicking Satan's ass and stuff like that. But it was brutal, dude. I can't remember the name of the band either. He moved out to Vegas, and
right.
I have no idea what happened to him. I stopped looking into it.
Maybe they're still
that was it.
Your song.
It was Avenger of Blood. He'll probably, I don't know. Who knows what happened to him? But long time ago. That's where that was.
Right.
Probably 20 years ago now.
Okay. So what I understood is that you played tabletop games for 30 years now, with a group, right?
Yeah.
And
and that group has changed a lot.
Yes. People come, people go, right? And so these adventures from the comic book you have right now are also based on stories that you played out.
Yes. Yep. So like I know these characters really well. Like I know what they become. I was the dungeon master for this group. So now this isn't exactly the group that we played, and the things that happen, I really have to like summarize a lot of stuff because in the game things will go on tangents or things aren't very tight. Like a story has to be tight.
Yes.
It's got to hit beats and have a rhythm and all that other stuff. So that you don't really have to do that so much in tabletop games. But so I try to condense it down into like who they really were at that time, and knowing where they're going to be later, I can really put in some good pointed stuff that that you'll really see unfold later as a character changes. It'll be cool,
right.
if we get that far.
So does this also mean that some of the characters in your comic book are actually based on characters that players created?
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes. It's like a stereotype of that person's character. Yeah.
Right.
So it's, and in fact, the main character, and one of the other ones, like it's very much like the player, like the Drake, the main character. He's kind of like the player, in his personality. And so at least the way I wrote him, not completely, but some of the young, brash, just, I don't know, that young kind of full of piss and vinegar attitude
Right.
is in him as well, and those are the things that, like the immaturity, where they joke about fart jokes and maybe they're too competitive, that kind of stuff. Because
Right.
they're young, they're like these guys. This group is mainly around, even though they're elves, they're basically like the young 20s. They just, the first level, they just graduated from their military class or whatever, getting their, becoming rangers. And then there's also a Arab cleric who's a little bit older, is a little bit more wise and pious and stuff like that. So the personalities in the group are very different and tend to clash a lot. So
yes,
I kind of look at it as a survival story. And in that survival story, it's not just the monsters and the war around them they have to survive. It's also each other,
Right. So does the writing itself, is that easy for you, or?
It's not difficult. I think if I had to do a lot of prose, I think that would get old, and I think I'd get bogged down. And I don't know. I think with the way that I write this, actually can go pretty fast, because like I'll get a feeling of what I want to have happen, and then it's the way I write the script is I'll say in the page what I want to have happen, and I've gotten much better as a writer. Anyways, like the third book script is much tighter and very clean and all that stuff. Anyways, so the script, I'll say what I want to have happen on that page, and then I'll go panel by panel. I'll just with Jose's ability making storyboard, working in animation, I don't have to describe angles and things like that. I kind of give like an overall scene of what I want happen in this panel and page, and then the emotions I'm trying to have on the characters. After that, I let him choose all that dynamic shit that he does.
Right.
Do what you do, man. And that's half the fun of this collaboration is, and also having worked with him, I see like how he goes, and I'm better, I think, at matching him, at least for giving him stuff to play with. Not really like in his professional ability or nothing like that, but just being able to give him a playground or at least a sandbox to build stuff. It's fun.
Right. I saw Derek in the chat. Welcome, Derek.
What's up, Dukester?
And Rob Kuro. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Thank you for the feedback on American Bliss, Rob.
Oh, cool.
Appreciate it. Yeah. So let's just bring up your campaign.
Cool.
But before we do that, let's have a little commercial break. So here we go.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was heavy. Uh,
Fuck yeah.
so
Heavy
what?
metal.
So what was the second title? Knights of Locusts or something?
Knights of Locutus. So Locutus is
Locusts,
the
all right.
name of the main creator god, and the evil guy, the evil god, the evil deity, that is the main bad of the meta story, the big plot. He is on a quest to kill his creator, Locutus, and yeah, so that's kind of like the war that's going on that everybody gets sucked into.
Right. Right. Okay. So Immortal Rising is the main title, and this
Yes, sir. And
particular
then
story is of Locutus.
so what it is Immortal Rising is the overall title for it, but
Mhm.
there's two stories in the book. There's The Calling, which is the main story. That's 34 pages. And then there's The Knights of Locutus, which follows two gods as they go as they try to figure out what's going on, right? Like they are kind of surprised by this breakout in, of what happens in the book, which I can't spoil too much, but
Sure. Yeah.
so like we see the same events going on from like first level and then 10 pages of God level. It's kind of cool.
Right.
Like for instance, in the first issue, we join the two is Latin, it means the one who speaks. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. And
Wow.
so uh in this issue, in the first issue, we join up with these Knights of Locutus, these two gods themselves, as they're in hell on a revenge mission. So these gods fight for the creator god against the bad guy, the Bamain, the Bamanites. So
Okay. The
it's a
main
lot of
character.
backstory because it's fantasy. So
Of course. But the main characters
main
are
character.
gods.
No, the so in the
Okay.
main, yes, of Knights of Locutus, the main characters are like all the high level guys. They're all some of them are gods, most of them are gods, yeah.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of like Clash of the Titans in a way. Um how they interact and then you see it play out in the main story as well. Like if you kind of like if you're following along, and they have their own story, but it all revolves around this great war that's going on.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Look at this art, man. This art is
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's the cover. Yeah,
This
Jose
logo is
Garcia, of
this
course.
logo is done by Chris, or
I'm sorry, was that?
this logo is.
No, that was done by Andrew Sommer.
All right.
He was a friend of the character design artist that I originally worked with on the project.
All right. Nice. Looks nice.
Which
The art
actually,
style.
the original character designs are right below this on the as sets of cards. So there's one that is like digital paint, and then another is like comic style.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those two sets of cards are done by Steve Whitehead. He was the friend of the logo guy. So, and
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
super
Cool.
cool.
Cool. So part
Those
of
are
this.
gorgeous, by the way. I don't know if you can see the detail very well, but Steve Whitehead's attention to texture and detail is next level. I mean, like you
That's
can see the
nice.
folds in the cloth from here, and the shine of the leather. It's really impressive. So,
It looks really, really professional too.
yeah, he's
Really
a
cool.
very good, talented dude.
Wow. Fantastic. So Jose Garcia, he redrew part of the comic, right?
He redrew the entire thing. Yeah, I had 34
Entire thing.
pages. Yeah, 34 pages, all except the
Wow.
cover, done by an amateur artist in Indonesia named
Mhm.
Koparosa, which
Okay.
actually I'm offering as a limited edition, the very first version done
That's
by
cool.
the amateur artist. And actually, if you scroll through the content of the page, you'll see it towards the bottom. I have comparisons of Jose's version and Kofa Rosa's version. So, but we can get to that in a minute. This is
Right.
actually a breakdown. Whoops.
Wait.
uh,
Sorry.
you can go ahead. That's fine.
I'm just admiring the art, man. It looks
Sure.
fantastic. The lettering also phenomenal work.
Oh, cool. That's all Jose. That is,
Right.
lines, colors, and the lettering as well. But look at that choice of colors. What I
Yeah.
really like is his palette choice in this is amazing.
Hojo, welcome, Hojo.
What's up, Hojo? Drink him if you got him, buddy.
Yeah. And this looks
And then
great.
again, I mean, the composition on these.
Stellar work, man. Yeah, it's really cool. So many panels, but he makes it work, right? There's a lot of motion here going on.
Yes. Yeah, and it's it's a pretty big action scene. So
Yeah,
yeah,
really cool.
looks fractured, right? And then look at those airships in the back.
Wow, beautiful.
Get real.
So you provide the script, right? And then Jose comes back with a quick layout sketch for you. And do things often change? Does he need to make changes to?
Well, for this one, not a lot of changes had to be made. He basically followed the other guy's work as a
Oh,
basic
right.
storyboard. Now, and you can see later on in the comparison, but it follows. But of course, Jose's is much cleaner and just less panels needed, and not only that, but I rewrote the script so that it was cleaned up as well and really
Okay.
reduced a lot of extra stuff because I didn't know what I was doing as well as I do now. So
Yeah, it's a learning process, man.
it really
Looks
is,
phenomenal.
especially once you see it actually followed through all the way and you're like, okay, that's what that, okay. And
Right.
then I learned a lot.
So how long ago was this first version?
I want to say it was made in 2019,
Okay, right.
something like that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, man.
Look
Beautiful.
at that. Look at that.
Just the simple shapes often, right? Just here, you see a lot
I
of
want to turn that into a poster. Like that is so
yeah.
pretty.
You see a lot of artists. They have the urge to fill in as many details as possible. But sometimes you just don't need it, right?
Yeah.
It's just simplicity here.
Yeah.
Really cool. Nice.
There we go.
Okay, so who's this?
All right, so this is remember earlier I said there was an evil god who was trying to kill his creator. Well, he in the material world, he has created an evil empire, and she is the empress of that evil empire. So she is like, second in command under him, first in command in the physical world. Bit of a Dami Mommy. Yeah.
Really cool.
And this is okay. So this is the cover for Knights of Locutus, and those are the gods that we focus on in this issue.
Right. Okay. So 2 stories. Look at these designs, man. Really cool.
Yeah. No, these designs, those were all Jose. He came up with that.
Right. So you made the descriptions. You wrote the characters for him, and then he came up with the visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
did he match it? Did he match the visual that you had in mind?
All right. Well, like if you scroll down a little bit, for instance, what I told him I want. There we go. So for this guy, his name is Listo. He's the god. He's a god of battle, and his whole thing was in D&D. His whole, I guess, his archetype would be, think of in the 90s the character Cable, where he's carrying all these weapons and he's always got a million weapons on him, and he's just like that soldier. And that was how this was, only it was their culture is very Japanese, and so he would have like a Japanese aesthetic to him. And this is and I said that he used 2 bastard swords, so that's exactly what he came up with, is what you see there, like the whole 40, like Warhammer 40K kind of look. That was all him. So I was like, let's do it, buddy. I like it.
Right.
Like, how do you say no to that? It's
Holy
like,
shit. Yeah.
yep, that'll work, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not making it easy for himself also to draw this character each time.
No,
You know.
he's the kind of guy who, and we've joked about this. He's the kind of guy who finds like the normal, like the main story, kind of boring because there's not a lot of intricate, detailed designs. He enjoys doing these, larger than life, full of crazy lines. The God stories. He's like he gets a kick out of it. So, yeah, he loves to eat up all the page that he can.
It is fantastic. Bristolian Dave, welcome, sir.
What's up, Dave?
All right, me babbers. Oh.
Yeah, Dave was awesome enough to back the book. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that guy could put a champion of the Empire to shame in Warhammer with this outfit. Right,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, he goes a bit much, but it's fun because, like, these are the gods, right? Like they're over the top,
Right.
and of course, here's his brothers in arm, or his brother in arms. That is Erickson. He is a god of magic.
Wow, look at these stones floating around the head
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Really cool. Awesome stuff. Guys, by the way, the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. Check it out.
Oh, and one thing you were asking about, like the doing the storyboards and stuff. So I asked Jose, putting this campaign together, I was like, hey, do we have anything that we've already done that we could use to add value? And he suggested, he was like, well, I have artists ask me for, sketches of my stuff all the time. I was like, awesome. How about a sketch, storyboard sketch PDF, so 34 pages of his sketch storyboards. And, you basically use that as a coloring book if you like.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, a little bit of info about the team.
So this is the first version. That cover there was done by a friend of mine who's a mural artist. He has a bunch of murals all over the state of Illinois in America.
Okay.
And then there you can see the difference.
Right. Oh, this is so cool. This is excellent.
And that is, I'm offering it extra. It's limited. It'll never be printed again. I only have so many copies of it.
Sure.
And it's more for like, if you want to, just add a little extra, give a little extra, was the intent of adding the first version. So,
yes.
Yeah. Because like I said, they'll never be, I'll never print them again.
This is awesome to see how different artists interpret the same script, right?
Yes, I agree.
Really nice.
Well, and I cleaned up the script too, cut some things out, but yeah, just based on ability, like Jose's able to convey more in less.
Right. Yes. Yes. So does Jose sometimes add things to the visuals that inspires you for new scenes?
Yeah,
it happens to me with Power, for instance, right? So maybe you recognize it.
Yeah, I think so. Like, he'll come up with something, and actually, it kind of goes back and forth. Like, for instance, we've done issue 1 and 2 together now, and just seeing some of the stuff that he did in issue 2, I was glad that he ran with, I don't know, just some of the techniques and styles he ran with in the first issue. It was cool because it just was playing well together between the two. But and then there was a couple of panels where I'm like, hey, what if we did this instead? And then he shot back something else that was like a mixture of both of our ideas,
right.
or just, or a better version of my idea. So
right.
This is always great.
Excellent, man. Excellent. So I was
and
wondering.
all this is these are all like a la carte add-ons. So if you want to buy just the basic, like over here you have the early bird basic immortal. That
Right.
is
Yes.
that's the book, a PDF version, and the early bird card. And then say you want to get all 9 cards, well, you can a la carte the 2 other sets. So you'll have 9
Right.
cards in total.
Right.
I actually have a lot of that. A lot of people going for the cards and the book. So
Yes. Great. Yeah. You have keep things simple. That's appreciated, right? Not
yeah,
like a gazillion perks that makes things too
yeah, or
complicated.
like perks with a bunch of stuff that maybe people don't want.
Yes.
Maybe
Yeah.
they don't want
Exactly.
the poster. Okay, that's fine.
So if you want to support this book or support you, people can also get the digital, which is great, right?
Mhm. Yeah, that's appreciated too.
Yes, of course.
Oh, and just because I know you're over in Europe,
Mhm.
to let everybody know, I'm using Critical Blast for fulfillment.
All right.
So if you look at the shipping on those, it's like $10 international shipping.
Woo!
So yeah,
$10.
so yes, sir,
Oh
and
wow.
that is because Critical Blast is just a great, smart dude. I don't know,
Yes,
he's
sir.
able to
Yeah.
get deals or whatnot. So um,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he
nice.
actually sat with me and walked through all of the shipping with me. So, all of that should be very accurate. If you're in Canada, instead of $25 shipping, or if you're in Europe, what is it, 35 or something like that?
Hmm.
It's 10.
Right. Okay. I had one question that because you said that this is based on a campaign, 30-year campaign that you were the dungeon master of, right? Or the games master, right? So you wrote many of these adventures. So, um, um, is this book plot driven? So because you have these quests made, and
Yeah.
these heroes have to go out and explore, right?
Yeah.
Or is this more like character driven?
So the way I look at it, it's not adventure based. It is
Mm,
a survival story, and the plot to me, like, character is plot. So as the characters change, that's moves the plot, right?
sure.
Like
Yeah.
the way I've written it is, it's in three issues. So each one is its own act, right? 3-act story, and you see, this first issue, we're introduced to them with all of their flaws, and slowly over the next 2 issues, by the third issue, we see some changes. And although the big plot of the war and the circumstances they're in and all that stuff is that moves along as well, that's not what moves the story.
Hmm.
Like, I didn't want it to. It's not like your traditional. So the way I like to think of it is the dark fantasy of Castlevania meets the epic fantasy of Final Fantasy.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Stuff like that, and just a good mash of the two. So it's much less like Dungeons and Dragons, where you meet in an inn and you find your quests on the bar billboard or something like that, or however some people play. I don't know. No, it's not like that at all. Where you go, was it Diablo? You go on individual quests into the dungeon. No. So this is at its core a group survival story.
Hmm.
These
Right.
guys they're not on adventure because they want to be. They're
Right.
thrust into a war they don't know anything about. And as that slowly comes to light, we see them definitely change over time. Spoiled, just stuck on themselves, brash, just all those young foibles and problems that we all start out with.
Excellent. Excellent, man. It sounds great. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
There's nothing else in fantasy like this. And so everything over cost is going into the third one. I've already said we have the second one done and everything. So there will be 3 made. And so if you buy this, don't think that it didn't do what you wanted, and so you can't make it. No, no, no. This is going to happen no matter what. Now, if we can push past the third one, then I'll feel like I've done more than I expected. So, yes, 1, 2, and 3 will be happening.
Excellent, excellent, man. Meanwhile, people are wondering what the squee was.
Yeah.
Sound of feminist vermin being incinerated.
Yes. Well, it is a dire boar, so that makes sense.
Right.
Although I don't know if it has blue hair. I don't remember. It might. With his color palette, it might actually have purple or blue hair.
By the way, congratulations for funding.
Awesome. Thank you.
114%. That's excellent. You have 73 backers.
So at 5,000, I haven't posted it yet, but at 5,000
Yeah.
as a stretch goal, I think I'm going to do stickers. So give everybody a bunch of stickers.
Oh, cool. All right. 73 backers right now. Let's refresh.
Yeah, we've got some distance to go to 5, but that's fine.
Sure.
It'll give me time to see if we'll make it, first of all, and then I'll push through with some stickers.
But this is still your first 30 days.
First 30 days. Yeah.
Great. All right.
Yeah, we funded it, or we funded in like 15 days or something. So
perfect. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Okay, guys, check it out. It's pinned in the chat. It's in the link it's in the description of the video. All right. Please share it. Share it with people. Share it on your social media.
This is the most unique piece of fantasy work going on, and I get in now. Help me out now. Plus Jose just had a baby. Help him buy some diapers.
That's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect. All right. Stop sharing.
There we go.
Excellent. It looks great, man. So,
thank you.
Are you planning to do more streams for the coming week or?
Well, that's a good question. So I've hit just about everybody. I'm going to be on Derek's show Tuesday, I believe, after my daughter's soccer practice.
Right.
But otherwise, the next big one is so far something might open up. But the next one is I'll be on Shay and Sai's channel, Cyborg Valkyrie.
Oh.
So and that'll be on the 29th. That's pretty much my closeout stream, really. So.
Oh wow! Exciting, man. Excellent.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to do another 30 days. I was thinking about going to FMC, the Fund My Comic, but I don't know because I don't see a lot of add-on stuff, and mine is centered on add-ons. So I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We'll see how things move ahead. But if anything, I'll just keep it open because I think this thing is just like Bancroft said, it's flown under the radar. A lot of people don't really know about it yet. So I think if I leave it open long enough, might hit $5,000. So we'll see.
Sure. Yeah, man. Well, we'll try to help you. We'll just share. We'll talk about it, guys. So let's do that.
$20 for a book. Come on.
Yeah, man. $10 shipping. Come on, guys.
Yep.
It's crazy. Right, Aaron. Thank you so much for being my guest and for showing us your awesome campaign.
Thanks for the time.
And if you are a creator watching right now and you want to be on my show, I do this every Sunday. Just reach out to me through Twitter or send me a email, but put a little bit of effort into it. Sometimes I just get this link here, the link, that's it. And I'm like, nah, put some effort into it. I put my time into this also, So yeah. Okay. Again, Aaron, thank you. And special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up. Thank you so much for the questions, for the interaction, for being here, for watching, guys.
Yeah. Toss us $20. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Just kidding, and help a brother out. We're doing good.
Exactly. All right, guys. I'll be back next Sunday, same time, same channel, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Bye.